Greetings, greetings, greetings. This is Ifashaya Egunjobi of Why Women Do As They Please. I am an oracle reader and guide that assists women in the areas of freedom, self-love, entrepreneurship, and practical solutions to daily living. I assist women in remembering who they were before the world attempted to tame them. So, I'm going to tell y'all ahead of time that I'm really sleepy and I have cramps. So I'll be eating ice cream while I do this video because I want to. So what I'm doing right now, which y'all are witnessing, is me finding a balance between self-love and me doing a bit of a sacrifice for my sisters. Oh, this is all right. I never had this kind before. People always talk about it. So, because I'm doing a video about self-love, I do want to be transparent with y'all because of the simple fact. Generally, I will tell people if you're not feeling well, if if you're just not feeling up to it, don't do it. But I put this video off for a long time. Well, not put it off, just life happens. Because I know it's hard for us to remember this because social media is so prevalent, but I do have a life outside of social media. So, yeah, so I have other stuff going on. This is birthday season for us and my family right now. So, hop into the topic. Thank you. I do not feel ravishing. I feel like I've been ravaged by exhaustion. Hey, hey, hey. So let's talk about this. And just so we're clear, that was not a whiny moment. That was an explanatory moment. I want us to understand as women that there is a balance. So what we're talking about today is self-love. I actually had to write a little bit of some notes because I don't want it to be sketchy. So self-preservation. What this lady, this particular sister asked me was about basically a breakdown. How do I actually break this stuff down? And so first of all, the big sections that I break it down in is self-preservation, self-acceptance, self-love, right? Within those sections, there is a body, mind, spirit component. The body, mind, spirit component can look different ways for different people. So the body component could be, for somebody like me, get some rest. Go to the gym. Eat properly. Get some rest. Sit down somewhere. That's been my major thing lately is learning to meditate. Meditation could also, and then you look at things like where meditate, thank you for the hearts. Meditation can also bleed over into the mental, spiritual area, right? So we're not looking for these compartmentalized versions, but I wanted to do a breakdown, one, because she asked me, but two, because maybe it'll make it a little easier for the really logical, the really logical people. And so, so let's talk about self-preservation. So self-preservation, when we think of that, think of the root chakra, if you're familiar with that. If you're not familiar with it, I've been getting it. I've been proud of myself, and I feel so much better. The self-preservation component is, you can think of it as a root chakra. You can think of it as a bottom rung on Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You basically, when you think about this part, these are the things that keep us alive and breathing. So that means and I mean quality of life, not literally, sometimes it's quality of life and sometimes it's literally just keep me breathing. So for instance, my self-preservation in the area of the body is where I'm working on right now is eating better, actually getting off the couch, because most of my stuff is computer-based, phone-based, stuff like that. So getting off the couch, getting on my yoga mat, going to the gym, whatever I got to do. And I'm literally in survival mode as far as that's concerned. So I'm doing whatever I have to do to get this done. So if that means going to the gym, that's what I'm doing. If it means getting on my yoga mat, that's what I'm doing. If it means parking further from, wherever it is I'm going, that's what I'm doing. It also means for some people, it might mean if you need a different set of herbs in your body. Like my daughter right now is having allergies. She's allergic to the sun. So we're having to deal with that kind of thing. So that's the self-preservation kind of thing in her body. The mental, with black women especially, this is super, super, super important. Self-preservation in the mental area, in the mind area. Mental illness is real. Depression is real. Being overwhelmed is real. Thank you for inviting followers. All of those things are real, and you are not weak because those things are real to you. You're not weak because those are things that you're dealing with. Those things, that is so important to us and for us to understand. Anxiety is real. Okay? So we're going to say it one more time for the ones in the back. Anxiety, mental health issues, depression, feeling overwhelmed, feeling ignored, unloved, rejected. Those things can play some real bad, not even tricks, because tricks makes you think it's not real. They can really have some bad wear and tear on you mentally, and especially because a lot of us, thank y'all for inviting followers, a lot of us are in a place at some point in our lives where we're either being told, either you just in a bad mood, you on your period, you just being too sensitive, things like that. And so people look over it, they ignore it, and then we do the same thing. Sisters, stop. Yeah, being told to suck it up. Listen, this is where your sister circle comes in. This is where, oh God, and if you don't have a sister circle, please, you can't go get one, but seriously, start to manifest your circle. Start to visualize yourself in a circle of women. It's not bizarre. That's the thing. I want y'all to even stop using that. Listen, I've been crying lately over everything, good and bad. I'll see, especially if I see women joining together for some, just automatic, just tears. And a very wise sister friend of mine, Ananda Free, who I love deeply, she told me, she said, you know what, Fashayo, she was like, I really feel like you crying the tears that you didn't cry, because I was really that strong when, I don't cry, I don't do this, I don't, like thug tears, I don't cry. And so the thing is, I feel so much better though. Since I just been letting it out, since I have not had any judgment for myself. And it does seem, confidence curator, it does seem to be a vibe, right? It does seem to be a vibe that's going on right now. Yeah. Those are woman issues, period, honey, because it's been, I know for myself, you saying it, and I've had quite a few other sisters saying, it's almost like our minds are bringing this stuff to the forefront. And again, like I said before, we are in a 9-year. This is a year of death and rebirth. Because anytime something dies on this side, it comes up, it's rebirthed on the other side. And so the thing is that, thank you for inviting followers and for the heart, y'all. The thing is that a lot of us seem to be really sensitive right now. And it is coming out in anxiety. It's coming out in all these very real ways. Reach out to your sisters. Even if you don't have any sisters where you are, find these groups on Facebook. It's been many times before I had a sister circle that them sisters on Facebook saved my life. Okay? And if you don't have decent women around you that you feel comfortable with, if you message me on Facebook, I can suggest some friends from my friends list that I feel like are safe or whatever. Just for you to be in those groups and to follow their pages and stuff like that, because you're not crazy. You might be losing it, but it ain't because you're crazy. That stuff has to come up and out, and we're just not allowed to do that. So we have to make that space. So spiritually, self-preservation, what does that look like? This one can be tricky because, especially as we get into different spiritual beliefs, because I've known everybody from atheists to hardcore every Sunday and Wednesday and every other day of the week, Christians. Thank you for inviting people. And so spiritual preservation, self-preservation, it means doing what you need to do spiritually so that you can survive here in this realm. The thing that I constantly tell people is, you here, you on earth, okay? You not going nowhere no time soon unless you're ready to die, okay? So what I want for y'all is to find something spiritually that makes it easy for you to be here in this earth, in this realm, and happy, right? Because you're here. A lot of us, especially as African Americans, we've been taught to kind of look to the sweet by and by. You know, even if you're not Christian now, if you have learned this stuff as a child, you learn to look off in the distance for this spiritual joy and for this spiritual something that's coming. No, it's here. It's in you. It's around you. It's all of that. And so the thing is, I want y'all, because it's a lack of satisfaction spiritually when you have to constantly wait. Right. When you have to constantly wait for something that's coming. It's coming. No, it's here already. And you're right, Confidence Curator, when you talk about we need a strategy. Listen, I was talking to a sister earlier, and we were talking about women of, hey, we were talking about women, of course, and I was saying the thing that I love about the women that I come in contact with is that we look for ways to fix it. We're not looking for ways to argue and let's debate and let's see who's right. Now, we're looking for, listen, okay, we all know what the problem is. We don't have to argue about that. What can we do to get this done? And how can we do it in various ways that everybody can learn from this? Most women that I'm around, all the women I'm around, understand diversity of thought, diversity of spiritual manifestation, diversity of spiritual sight. Like, we ain't interested in changing nobody. We just like, okay, well, how can we take your concept and your view of the world and heal this group that's drawn to you, and that group is drawn to her, and this group is drawn to her? That spiritual self-preservation, for me, if I'm teaching about it, is gonna say, so you can be rooted here, because this is where you live, on this earth, on this beautiful, beautiful ball that is hurling through space and time. This is where you are. You don't have to look for some sweet by and by. You're here. So find that spiritual space that lets you accept and love yourself in this here and now. Exactly. Everybody does, and further, everybody's journey is valid. And it's none of your business what their journey is. We're here to just appreciate each other. Like I said, at any given gathering in my house, I have had, one time I literally had almost everybody represented. I had Protestant, Catholic, atheist, Muslim, not too sure, African traditions. We all sat up in the room, in the house together, and had all these discussions and these strategies about marriage and children and how to deal with those things, and never once got into an argument. Imagine that. So then let's talk about self-acceptance. So you've already gotten to the point, because sometimes, hey Jamila, oh Lord, here she come. So sometimes what self-preservation means is, it's just when them times when you just trying to make it. When you just trying to make it. And we've all been in those times when we just trying to make it. We just trying to get along. I'm just trying to get out the bed. You just trying to make it. Self-acceptance is when you've moved up a step. So now you starting to add some color to your world. Yeah, because what's the point in debating? So self-acceptance is when you start to add some color to your world. It's where you have started to say, you know what? I want to start bringing some beauty back into my life. And so the thing is so when you talk about acceptance in your body, a lot of us with this, the self-acceptance in your body, you fat, you skinny, you short, you tall, or you like me where I hated my legs forever. Your hair don't grow as long as you want it to, your nose too wide, whatever. You'll get to the point. Now, for some people, That self-preservation of the body might be not killing themselves over those things, not being anorexic or bulimic because you're convinced that you're too fat or too whatever. So when you get to the acceptance phase, you might not love it yet, but you don't hate it, right? So for me, I'm not in love with my legs still. Like, I don't look at my legs and say, "Ooh, girl, you got some pretty legs," when I look in the mirror. But I'm like, but them legs and carried us through some stuff. And then, as y'all know, my husband's in a wheelchair. So when I look at him, it keeps me in check. Because I feel pretty stupid when I look at him and I'm like, and I'm talking about my legs ugly. But I'm sure he would take these little legs, because they work. So I have gotten to the point of acceptance. Right. Thank God for legs. Thank God for the feet, the calves, all of those things, the thighs. Y'all know my things, these thighs have held some lovers and had bounced babies on my thighs and all that stuff. Yes, feet have carried us through many situations, and some of us have had to go running from situations. Pinky toes give us balance, right? And so, and it's just good. And see, this is what y'all are doing right now. This is one of the exercises that I tell people to work on for self-love of their body. When you get out of the shower and you don't have your bra on, you don't have your waist trainer on, you don't have whatever it is that you might be hiding behind, start from your head and go down to your pinky toe, giving thanks for each and every single solitary body part. And if you can't think of something to be thankful for about that body part, call somebody and ask for help. You know what I'm saying? Because I got the mama arms. They done got better, but honey, they be flapping and going. I wave, and then I put my arm down, my arm still waving to people because it's just a flapping. But you know what? You know how many children have fallen asleep on these fat mama arms? Or how many children have been cradled on my hip, with this fat mama arm? How many people have been hugged and held and comforted on these asymmetric, boobies and stuff? Child, please. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you just look at it from a place of love and admiration, even if you kind of have to mentally step outside yourself. Because trust me, those things that you don't like about yourself or haven't learned to accept, somebody like it. As one of my favorite folk on Facebook, or y'all say, she said your daddy like it. So it's like we look at things like that. So in the area of the mind, so many women, don't accept their way of thought. We have not learned to be open with our thoughts and our concepts and how we see the world. A lot of us have had those kind of trodden underfoot by, our upbringing, by, especially if you're a Southern woman, you're supposed to be quiet and be pretty. Just sit there and be cute. Don't say nothing, But our mind, our concepts, and, when we disagree with things, all of that stuff is mental. Being quiet, sitting nice, close your legs, don't sit like that, and don't be rude. Just don't say nothing if you don't have nothing nice to say. Sometimes the stuff I have to say ain't going to be perceived as nice. And that's not my problem because I didn't come here for that. I tell people I come to start stuff. I come to uproot stuff that doesn't work. I come to offend so that I can challenge those areas that other people are scared to challenge. So I didn't come to be nice. I came to love you, and I do love you deeply, but sometimes that don't look like me being nice. And so what I had to do, I had to learn that my mind, my mental concepts, the way my mind works does not necessarily line up with my nice Southern Christian upbringing, right? So I had to learn to accept that I was never going to fit into, I am, so, unite. And so I had to learn to accept that I wasn't going to fit because I didn't come here to fit. That was not the agreement that I made in heaven or wherever you want to say. Yeah, baby, that throat chakra. Yeah, a lot of women have problems in the in the throat chakra area. And so, because we have been told, even for those who talk a lot, for the loud girls who like to talk a lot, sometimes we still are not speaking our truth. Sometimes we speak over much about things that are not important to us because we cannot say the things that are important to us. Ladies, sisters, my sisters, my sisters, my sisters, do not be scared to offend. Especially if you want a big mouth loud girls. People are going to be offended. People do not like women that cannot be tamed. That's just it. They don't like us when they can't tame us. And that includes other women a lot of times, unfortunately. So, spend time with your thoughts. Figure out what your thoughts actually are. I spent a lot of time actually having to go over concepts that I had held to be true for a very long time. And I had to say, wait a minute. Like I made a conscious decision to take time and say, wait a minute, was that my thought or was that something I was taught? Wait a minute, do I actually believe that? And I just made an activity out of it. Like I trained myself to when I would say things or do things, and it started with I used to be like, oh, women, I can't stand bitches. They make me sick. I was that one. I was. And so I had to say, wait a minute. Because if all women are bitches, bitch, you a woman. So I had to really explore that. If all women are catty and women can't be trusted and all that, that means you catty and you can't be trusted. And so I had to really start to explore those concepts that I had held on to. Even about my marriage, like what is it that I really think about marriage? What do I actually think about what that should look like? What do I think about child rearing and how do I think that should look? Like, should I whoop my kids? Should I whoop them for that? I had to really explore. No right or wrong answer, but it need to be your answer when you give it. So then we talk about acceptance spiritually. A lot of us were in the broom closet, right? That's what we call it. When we came out with our spiritual preferences. And we're especially, I'm going to say in a Christian, my thing is always going to be Christian because I talk about my own stuff most of the time because I don't like telling other folk business. So generally it's not that I'm harping on Christianity. It's just because that's what my background is. So I had to learn to accept myself, my spiritual path, because it has been a path and a journey. Because as long as I couldn't accept it, other people couldn't accept it. And people can smell it on you. People can smell on you that you are insecure about your spiritual path. They can smell it. They will set you up for arguments and discussions and crap that they really don't have any plans on hearing you out on. They just want to argue. As soon as I accepted myself and as soon as I was like, man, I don't care what nobody think about what I do. I haven't had anybody else arguing at me. I haven't had anybody else trying to convert me. I haven't had any of that happen. And not because I've been threatening or, I'm not concerned. Like now, everybody in my family knows what I do. It's not really anything that anybody wants to discuss necessarily, but they know what I do. It's not a secret. I'm out the broom closet. Everybody knows what I do. And yes, I am the weirdo in the family. That's okay. Because that's what I came for. Remember, that was my agreement before I came here, that I was going to be the weirdo in the family because I came to help my family remember the traditions that were lost. I came here to get the... Mari! Will you get Tasha? You can put her in her room if you want to, but she keeping up too much noise out there. Okay. Y'all, I'm sorry. My 4-legged child out there acting up. But I came here because I'm here to, for instance, with my daughter. My daughter is not getting raised the way that I was raised. And so she's coming up with more freedom than I ever had. So now my grandkids, or, whatever, she adopts some kids, I don't know, because that's her womb. She do what she wants to. But whoever come up behind her is going to be even more free. Because of how she was raised. Because I wasn't like this when she was little. I was nothing like this when she was little. So she has seen this change happen. And so the thing is that, and because she accepts herself spiritually, people don't really challenge her either. And it's been really interesting because when I first started, when I wasn't accepting myself, people argue with me left and right constantly. And I was supposedly still in church. But they can smell it on you, like I said. People can smell when you don't accept yourself. So now on to self-love. So what does self-love look like? It looks like the blissful place of being in constant romantic and sensual love with yourself in these different areas. So when we talk about self-love in the area of body, listen, I'm gonna tell y'all something, and I'm glad Jamila ass is back in here because she know this is one of my favorite things. I spent so much time over my life being worried about my titties. They were too small. They ain't never been the same size. They ain't never been as different as they are now. But they ain't never been the same size. I thought my areola was too big. Then after I done breastfed two children, I thought my nipples might put somebody out. And so I had to do a lot of self-love around my breast. Plus, in our family, there's a lot of cancer. So I also am dealing with a lot of fear or anxiety around my breast because my almost every woman in my family has had cancer. I'm not gonna have it, but that's what I deal with. And so, I mean, I ain't want to put nobody out, but when your nipples look like pencil erasers, it can happen. So, but yeah, so Jamila, the one who just commented, she has this beautiful, it smells good, it feels good, this breast oil. Yeah, this breast oil. And see, I'm gonna tell you, I did my shower work that I was telling y'all. Like, I literally would get out of the shower and I would talk to them and thank them because they done sustained the lives of two children, one of which was a preemie. And like I said, plenty of people that laid up on these and went to sleep, found comfort, cried, whatever it is. So what Jamila's oil, the part that it plays in my self-love of my breast and in my healing of that fear is that I spend time, child, I don't know what it is with Periscope. I spend time doing breast massage. And I be talking to the girls, like, y'all so pretty. Look at y'all with your pretty self. We got the party titty over here and we had a conservative side over here. But they're both equally important and equally beautiful. And so the thing is that it has helped me to reconnect to both the function, the beauty, the sensuality, the pleasure, and with me being a cancer child, a cancerian child, this is our area. Like, this is what cancers are known for. Yeah, is it on there? Cause she be letting that stuff. She let it marinate forever. She got some old juju on the oil. Jamila, I don't know if she's still in here. Jamila, she said it's the oil on your site. If it's not, she gonna make some more. Cause I've been talking about it forever, so she gonna have to make some more. So self-love in that area, yes. So I'm learning piece by piece to really be in love with my body. Be in amazement of my body, of what it can do and what it has done. There she is. Jamila, she want to know if it's on the site. Confidence Curator. And of course, y'all know about why I tattooed my stomach, because I like to eat. Okay. I like to eat. I used to be really skinny. Like, I used to be like 110 pounds. Right now, I weigh 175 pounds. I'm 5'2". So 175 pounds is not the weight that I feel comfortable at. Remember, I did not say that I didn't feel good, like, about myself, because I do think I'm cute or whatever. But I don't feel good in my body at this weight. So I need to feel good in my body, and then it's an expression. It's an expression of love for me to keep my body in tip-top shape. But it's not me looking at it like, your rolls and all this. Like, my stomach, it'll probably never be flat, and that's okay. So, because like I told y'all, that's why I decorate. That's why I put that big old pretty flower on it, so that I can celebrate my belly at whatever point my belly's at. So if it's fat or flat, I'm still gonna celebrate it. So that's the body self-love. I'm learning. There are some areas in my body that I have mastered, that I love, that I'm like, oh my God, I'm so grateful. It's other body parts or areas that I'm still at the place of acceptance. But I will say, I do not have any places on my body that I hate. There's nothing on my body that I hate, and that's good. And so that's kind of what you at least want to go for. In the area of the mind, I have learned to be in love with the way my mind works. And that took some time. And I'm going to tell you what actually helped me with that was astrology. Because I feel like it helped me kind of understand myself a little bit better. And so I have learned that this is the way I think. This is the way my mind is set up. This is my process. So what people call ADHD now, man, I've been dealing with that for years. It's just the way my mind works. I just find a different way of doing things. And also being able, the way I have trained my mind to catch things when people say little things that tear you down and stuff like that, to be able to, I've learned now to be able to pretty quickly flip those things around. Because you can train your mind to do what you needed to do. So I love that my mind and that my mind understands this is what we need to do to be here and be in love with us right now, and it behaves accordingly. We get on the same page. Me and this pretty brain up here. And then spiritually, my spirituality, the thing that I'm in love with is that it looks like freedom and it feels like freedom. And so when I love other people, hopefully that love feels like freedom. Hopefully that love feels like acceptance to them. So it's like, so my spirituality, one minute, like in Charlotte, it looks like this. When I'm in Atlanta, it looks like that. When I'm at the park, because that is church for me, it looks like a whole different thing. Somebody pointed out yesterday to me, because I was like, I have such a hard time being calm. They was like, but you be looking calm when you're at the park. Never thought about it. But when I'm at the park, that's the one place, when I'm out in nature, that's the one place that I'm literally usually just laying in some dirt or something. Yes! Girl, listen, Confidence Curator, what's your name so I can quit calling you that? Because I know who you are on Instagram too, so I know who I'm talking to, but I don't think I know your actual name. The mental war when I came out of church, girl, listen, Sabrina, okay. So Sabrina, my mental war when I came out of church, girl, was all about hell and the fear of hell. Everything that I had been taught was about hell. Everything I did was to avoid hell. Oh my God, hell. Once I got rid of my fear of hell, and once I fully explored the history and the biblical explanation, the biblical, I looked all in the Bible about all the examples and things that talked about hell, which it ain't a lot of them, believe it or not. And then I looked, I just did a lot of research around hell. Once I did all that, I was like, man, please. Yeah, it's rough. It's rough. It can be, yeah. Because I remember I always loved the club. And I remember I would be in the club and I'd be just getting sweaty, drunk, just getting it. And I looked up one time, I was like, Jesus, please don't come tonight. Because I knew I wasn't going. I knew I wasn't going. I wasn't going to make it to heaven that night. But this is the thing. It's a lot of scriptures in the Bible that just don't support hell. Just because if you have this loving God, this all-loving God, this God who understands perfect love, why in the hell would you create hell? Like, what does that mean? So, and some of it was for fun because I'm aggravating like that. But I have two clients that are pastors. Well, one's a pastor, one's a minister. And I would actually have arguments with them, like not arguments, but you know what I'm saying, pose the questions to them just to kind of sharpen my skills. And they never could come with nothing that could convince me that I was wrong. What I realized is most people don't actually read the Bible, because even when I was a minister, most of the time I got in trouble, it was because I had actually read the Bible and went and studied not the commentary, but the concordance. You don't need the commentary. If you have a commentary, throw that crap in the trash. Go read your concordance. I always tell people, choose your scripture, whatever your scripture is, and look up the words that are in that scripture. Most of the stuff that's in that scripture does not mean what it's been translated into. It just doesn't. And that's why people have gotten into Christ consciousness. And that might be a better transition for you, or easier transition for you to make, is not jumping straight out the church. Exactly. Exactly. It's tradition. It's like that story when the lady says, she's like, I asked my mom why she cut the ham in half and put it in 2 pots. And then she was like, I don't know. So she went and asked her mom the same question. I don't know either. So they went and go ask her mom. Come to find out that the original person who put the ham in 2 different pots, it was because her pots wasn't big enough. So she had to cut it in half and put it in 2 different pots. But they kept passing that tradition of cutting the ham in half, putting it in 2 different pots. And nobody knew why. And so that's what we do with so many things, is we just pass traditions down, and we don't know why we do what we do. We just do it without question. And I used to have a shirt that said question everything. And that is one lesson that I did learn from atheists. I learned to question everything. Oh, God bless you, honey. Listen, I wasn't a preacher's kid, but my daddy was pretty close. Everybody thought he was a preacher, and I was a minister. And I stayed in trouble, like, all the time. I got banned from talking to the bishop without supervision. So I was like, I don't want to talk to him anyway. So let me tell you this, Sabrina, about this was how I went, and I think it was Tonil in there. Neil now. I can't see it in my face. Yeah, put the ham in two pots. Love tonic. I'm gonna just say that because now I can't visually see your name in my head, so I know I'm saying it wrong. So this was my journey. This is a short version. So I grew up. There we go. Okay, so I grew up Christian, of course, hardcore Christian. I mean, going to church for everything all the time. Then I went to the military, and basically that's why I got introduced to African traditions, which was really interesting because these people did a terrible mix of all African traditions at one time. But I look at it like a booster shot. So I went from that. I came back home, and then I ain't had no choice but to go to church. Because if you at my mom and daddy house, you going to church. So I ended up being a minister, but I was also the prophet, and I was an exhorter, and I was an intercessor. So I was really in the church. And so then I started doing house church, like with my family, because I started reading Pagan Christianity. That might be a helpful book. It's a good transitional book. Pagan Christianity is by Frank Viola, and he's a house church minister. So he's not going to tell you not to believe what you believe, but he kind of debunks a lot of the traditions of the church. So he talks about where the praise team came from. He talks about the different little robes and outfits that people wear, those traditional things. So I started doing house church, but then it was just like, it was too much. It was just too much. I didn't feel like being bothered. So then I just went straight for the gusto. I was like, you know what? I'm going to start looking at atheist stuff, because my thing was atheists ain't scared of nobody. So they would ask the questions everybody else was scared to ask. So I started looking at that. Just to get the real questions answered that I want to answer. And then I ended up back with Ifa, which is an African tradition. Yeah, they ain't scared of nobody. So I still love atheists to this day. And so I ended up going African tradition again. Then, because this African traditional things are communal. I don't have a community here. So basically where I'm at now, I do what works for me when I'm at my house, like in Charlotte by myself. But then when I go to Atlanta, then I practice with other people. But just here, to me, African tradition is hard to do by yourself, in my opinion. There are people who do it, and I'll just say it like this. Either they're more dedicated than I am, or they're like arrogant enough to think that they can do it on their own. I don't know. It could be either or something else that I'm just not thinking of. I just know that I don't do it very well by myself. So that's a very quick rundown of how mine went. Understand, in the middle of that, it was a lot of tears. It was a lot of confusion. It was a lot of fear. It was a lot of self-work that had to be done. It was a lot of that. So that path was not as clean as I made it sound. And I have a lot of old videos on my YouTube and stuff like that that cover that. And you know, because I don't like to paint it like, oh, it was easy, you just need to get over it. Because that shit was not easy. When that's the belief that you were taught from the time you stepped out your mama's womb, it's rooted. You know what I'm saying? The other thing is that I learned recently, or that I embraced recently, is that you don't have to get rid of everything. Like, you don't have to throw the baby out with the bathwater. It's still some gospel songs that, honey, will move me to my soul, honey. And I used to feel a conflict. I don't feel no conflict about that anymore. So it is. It is. And so, you know, you don't have to dump it all, though. Like, you don't have to just be like, oh, all this is stupid. It's all. No, you don't have to do that. Yeah, it is. It's extremely challenging. It's extremely challenging. And a lot of times it is extremely scary. And especially when your whole life is built around that, because it means that you probably are going to lose some friends. You won't lose your family because you can't get rid of them. Because if you could, it was probably something you would have got rid of by now anyway. But you will definitely have some people that you just want to punch in the face, because you're going to be evil, and that's just Satan confusing you, and, the devil is after you, after your soul and all that. But I'm like, well, why does God want me to be scared of? Why would you even create something I got to be scared of? It would be like when we got our dog, me getting the most vicious dog I could get, and then if my kids did this particular thing that the dog was going to attack them, like, why the hell would I bring a dog like that in the house anyway? So that's what I always thought about Satan. Like, well, why did you create something that was going to be after me all the freaking time? Like, you're God. Why don't you destroy it? Because I know if I could keep my kids from everything that was ever going to potentially hurt them, everybody have to go. Because I know how I feel about my children. So, according to the scripture, if, me being a human parent would not give my child a stone if they ask for bread, or a serpent if they ask for fish, then God being God would not withhold any good thing from me, because he's God and he's divine and he knows, all this stuff. Then the same thing applies to that. Like, well, if you send me to hell, you kind of withholding something, sir. You withholding heaven. I don't want to go to hell, Plus the whole concept of stuff burning, like, you can't do... souls burning? Like, what do you even talk? It's a whole thing. As usual, I'm all off track. So, sorry. So, yeah, I'm just all off track. I have no idea. But anyway. So, yeah, that whole deal about self-love and all that good stuff. So, I hope the sister, I ain't see her come in, the sister who asked me for the video, I hope this is sufficient to answer all your questions. You said it was for you. Listen, long as somebody got something from it, okay? Long as somebody got something from it. I just don't want to be talking to hear myself talk, so I'm glad it helped somebody. Look at my ice cream. This is how I like it anyway. It's really good. So, long as y'all got something from it, then my work is done. So, if you're in the Charlotte area, check out Soul Cinema's page. Because it's sometime in August. Of course, now I can't remember. It's all melted, but it's so good. Soul Cinema Review, I think is the name of it. I love it because I can drink it. Stop! I'm trying to tell them something. Soul Cinema Review is showing. It's gonna be showing Summer of the Gods, and then after that, then I'm gonna do like a talk. But y'all know my talks are like crowd participation, because the only reason I be on Periscope is because I know y'all can talk back, because I don't want to sit here and run my mouth all day. So if you're in the Charlotte area, please, go check out their page. Come check out the movie. Come check me out. I'll be back in Atlanta again, I think the weekend of August 30th. No, July 30th. Yeah, July 30th. Because It's Poppin' Vintage is having an event. and I think I'm supposed to be modeling clothes. So that'll be exciting. I was like, girl, you know what you asking for? You know, I'll be thinking I'm cute. And let me see what else. M3. Hey, Tia and Tamara. Tamara, do you have the dates for M3? M3, I think it's the winter class or is it the fall class? Anyway, Moves, Moons, and Magic. We are the summer session's graduating. M3, right? Summer session is about to graduate. We're about to be finished. Turn up. Quiet as kept. We were the best class. So, Omi Shaw is going to be offering another session. Interest meeting, thank you, August 1st. See there? You like the secretary. It's August 1st. It's winter M3. Okay. And so we have some M3 folks that are in and out on Periscope and stuff like that. You owe yourself this class. Every class is different. Our class was totally different than the last class. You gonna get what you need. Okay? Promise. Because one thing I don't think Omi Shaw ever says, but it's true. Yeah. Well, it's what you do. One thing that Omi Shaw does with the classes is that she teaches them very intuitively. So you will get what you need in this class because it's been a lot of times when we start out, she had a plan, and then because the way our energy and our particular class is set up, then she would change and it would be exactly what we needed. In the Moves, Moons, and Magic class, there will be tears. But there will be laughter, there will be healing, there will be sisterhood, there will be work, you will learn all kinds of stuff in this class. So please make sure that you follow, I'm pretty sure her name is Omi Sharo on here, which is OMISARO. It's in person if you're in the Atlanta area, but like me and Tamara that keeps commenting. Yeah, it's on. We take it online because Tamara's in Texas, right? Houston. So we take it online. So yeah, we the troublemakers online. So yeah. So make sure you check it out. It's Moves, Moons, and Magic, and you can find that page on Facebook if you have any more questions. Omi Charles Rhymes, Austin. Who lives in Houston? Because I was pretty sure that it was Houston. Okay. I got somebody that's in Houston. So, yeah, so go check that out. I'm trying to think if I have any more church announcements. And I'm also finishing up my Oracle class. I have decided that for my next Oracle class, I'm going to be doing all of them one-on-one. Because I didn't realize exactly how fabulous my students were until I did my one-on-one check-ins with them. And so all my next Oracle class will be taught one-on-one. So that means private classes all around. So I'm really excited about that. We are to the point now where they started doing readings yesterday, and they were fabulous, and I was really impressed. So, yeah, so they're all going to be one-on-one. I really think I'm going to keep the price the same, though. It'll just be shorter because it'll be one-on-one, but you'll still get the same information. So they started doing card readings. They read each other yesterday. It was awesome. So we did like my 5 o'clock class. Oh, that ain't the right paper. We did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We did 6 readings yesterday. So it was really good. So if you're interested in that, I actually need to fix it on the website because I just decided the other day that I'm going to offer it all the time. Thank y'all. And then in the winter coming up, whatever. In the winter time, at least I do periscopes. At least I do them, Jamila. And in the winter time, I'm gonna be doing seasonal depression classes. It's not really even a class. It's just somewhere. Whatever. It's just somewhere for people to be able to check in. So we'll be doing art projects and stuff like that, and it will be offered online. Just because I used to go through seasonal depression and, so it'll be reasonably priced. It'll be a 3-month class, to get us all the way through the winter. So yeah, I'll just be the facilitator, but I do want to do that. So yeah, I think that's it. I think that's all my church announcements. And Jamila ass talking shit about my long ass periscopes, but you ain't really been in here. Ooh, I'm glad you said something. I do. I need to do the chakra series because it was lost. It just means I have an opportunity to add more information. So yes, I will do the chakra series. She talking trash. So is it okay if I still do it sisterhood with the chakras? Why am I having this discussion with you right now? How about we take this to the inbox instead of you trying to put my business on Periscope? Nosy. Putting all my personal business on the Periscope. Anyway, we're gonna get off of here so Tamara can go back to work. She's supposed to be doing something. Oh. Jamila, go do something. Ain't Aria calling you? She hungry or something. She wants you for something. Host another workshop when you get. Yes, ma'am. I'm supposed to be coming. We just trying to figure out what all they want me to do, or what I want to do. Yeah, cause I wanna wake up, Aria. So, cause I love going to Atlanta, and I love the folks in Atlanta, and I love the vibe in Atlanta. So, definitely planning on coming back and doing some stuff. Especially now that Omi Shaw and them got the church together, they got the temple together. Are those little people or penises? I don't know what those are. Where are my glasses? I don't know. It's like two sad faces and a penis. I don't know. Two penises? I don't know what that is. Looks inappropriate to me, though. I don't know. So anyway, okay. So love y'all. I'll talk to y'all later. Double. Let's see if this goes off.